dream come true again, just fighting here the second time and, fighting in front of the whole Cowboys organization and other Cowboy fans. It's a blessing and a dream.
Errol Spence Jr. is my guest. Then you follow that up with a win over Mikey Garcia, or you follow the win over Garcia with a win over Sean Porter here in Los Angeles to take home that WBC belt. As you go back to that night, what kind of statement do you feel like you made to the world in winning that fight the way you did?
I think I made an impactful statement because I showed everybody that, with the Mike Garcia fight, I showed everybody I can box. Sean Porter fight, I showed everybody that I can fight and I can brawl and I can stand there inside the pocket and really, trade shots with the guy. So I feel like I showed the best of both worlds, and I got, everything it takes, to continue on winning and beating the best fighters out there that they place in front of me.
Errol Spence Jr. is my guest. And then after that win over Porter, Danny Garcia comes into the ring and he challenges you. What was your reaction to that, and why was this the fight that you wanted?
Oh, for me, it was just, like I always said on social media, tables turn, because in the beginning it was me calling out all these Danny Garcia, Sean Porter, the Thurmans, and everybody else. I was on the outside calling them out, trying to get inside the house. But now I storm my way inside the house, and when I beat Kell Brook, and now the other guys that ran out the back door and out the front door asking to come back in and to fight me. So it's a blessing. It shows hard work pay off, and I wanted this fight because he's one of the guys that I've been wanting to fight since I turned professional, and finally getting the opportunity to show the world, how great I am by beating another top welterweight.
Errol Spence Jr. is my guest. He's joining us before a championship fight. Errol, it was shortly after the Porter fight that you were in that horrific car accident, one that could have been fatal. Your Ferrari flipped over. You were ejected from the car. I want to be really respectful because I don't want to bring up bad memories, but you've also talked about how you really don't remember that much from the accident. What was the rehabilitation process like after the accident?
Oh, man, it was just grueling, man. Like they say, the mind is the strongest muscle in the body, and for me, it's mind over matter. And it was like a lot of days, I wanted to stop, or, something was aching or, in pain. Like my neck probably didn't stop hurting until about like 5 months after the accident, 4 or 5 months after the accident. So, I had to, basically, fight through the pain and just rehabilitate myself and get back. And I didn't, people wanted me to go see physical therapists and, mental therapy and things like that. But, I just trusted myself and just basically, got it out the mud myself and just grinded myself and, got to the point with just my loved ones and my coach and, my father, and just, thinking of my kids and not quitting, not failing them. So I think, that outside influence too, brought, strength into me, coming back this soon to fight.
I mean, it's amazing, right? Like, I'm trying to figure out, it's one thing to say, like, you got it out of the mud and you did what you had to do and you had people around you and you were able to grind through it, but it doesn't begin to do justice to what you overcame. I mean, was there any point, because you yourself said you should have lost your life that night, did you ever think about retiring from fighting after that happened?
Yeah, for a little bit. I was like, because, I was pretty banged up, so, I was sitting in the bed like, I don't know, if I can fight anymore, or, and then I had to go see a doctor. So I'm like, man, I gotta go see, a doctor to, see if my brain's okay, because, my body, went head up with concrete. So, I mean, most people lose that battle. So just going to see the doctor and, saying that I don't have any brain bleeding and stuff like that, that for me, that can only, just be a blessing. And, that was out of my control and out of, my powers, that, I didn't have any brain bleeding or, any swelling, anything like that. And it allowed me to come back this fast, So, I believe it was just, something to learn from and just, stay 100% dedicated to the sport. And just don't take my life for granted. And it actually helped me too, with just not taking stuff for granted and spending time with family and loved ones and actually getting that time, because you never know when your day will end. It done a lot to my peace of mind. I didn't move to Red Oak too, by the way. I moved in the outskirts of Dallas, but not
Got it. Okay, got it.
But it done a lot. I feel like riding horses is very peaceful, and it just gives you a peace of mind. And I never really even touched a horse or had cattle. Like, I got cows now, I got goats. Like, I never even touched those things, and now I have all that, and I feel like it's very therapeutic and peaceful, and it gives me a peace of mind being out there riding a horse and just being out there with all the land. And I'd rather be out here and not stuck in an apartment where you can't walk outside, and early in the morning you hear cranes and other stuff going off and alarms and things like that. Where out here it's just peaceful. Everybody mind their business. I can shoot guns out here, ride horses and just kick with my family. I got swimming pools, so there's so much privacy out here.
Errol Spence Jr. joining us. I know it. Open space is great. We own horses. I absolutely love them, so I know what you're talking about. Something you've talked about before I let you go, you said, quote, I know people are looking out to see if I've lost a step or won't be at my best, but I'm 100% focused and everything is on point in camp. I just can't wait to go out there and put on a show, end quote. So what's your reaction when you hear people say that maybe you have lost a step, maybe you're not what you used to be?
For me, it's just added motivation, I feel like it either can get you up or get you down. And, criticism or it just added motivation. And I don't even see it as criticism, really, some of the stuff because, it's to be expected. I mean, for me to get in that type of accident and people to see it on video and things like that, it's to be expected that, they say, man, is he going to come back the same? Is he still the same? Are we going to get the same Errol Spence? So, for me, I'm a very realistic person, so, I see what they're talking about because, I would see the same thing if somebody had an accident and I seen it. I'd be like, man, that dude's not coming back the same, but he won't be the same. So, everybody will have to tune in December 5th on Fox pay-per-view, order it, or come to the fight at the AT&T Stadium. You will see an electrifying Errol Spence Jr.
Can't wait to see it. Can't wait to see it. All right, so finally, we know styles make fights. When you look at Garcia, where is he the most vulnerable, and how do you see the fight going, Errol?
I feel like style make fight, and it's definitely going to make this fight because Danny Garcia is always in exciting fights. I'm always in exciting fights. I feel like, basically we're going to try to dictate the make in the early rounds, and then, I think it's going to turn into an all-out fight, and that's something that I welcome. So I think it's going to be just an exciting, great fight where Danny's going to give it his all. I'm going to give him my all. His dad going to be pushing him. And, I'm going to try to get this, or I am going to get this victory in my hometown and put on a great show and a great performance. And, everybody's going to celebrate and thank.
Hey, Errol, I've got about 1 minute. I have to ask you, like almost anybody else in your situation would take a tune-up fight. You're not doing that at all. Why are you approaching it the way you are when you could have had a tune-up fight?
I think because at the end of the day, I'm a real fighter. I'm a unified champion, had 2 belts. I feel like it's my duty to basically, fight the guys that's out there and give guys the opportunity. And I'm not one of those guys that's going to hold up the belts or fight tune-ups and fight mandatories and, guys that's not worthy. I feel like Danny Garcia been in the game for a long time. And he's definitely a worthy opponent, ex-world champion. And for me, I'm just a real fighter, and I feel like I'm 100% back. And I know I'm going to put on an amazing show on December 5th.
You're a warrior. Errol Spence Jr. versus Danny Garcia, Saturday, AT&T Stadium, live on pay-per-view. He is the IBF and WBC welterweight champion of the world.